I wanted to be at Texas State. I chose to be at Texas State. I'm from Texas. That was important to me. I always knew if the right guy got this job, you better watch out.
You better watch out. This is Win Now or Get Bent, episode 105. If you don't already know, I'm Kev Tardello, coming to you on Tuesday, June 27th. And the class of 2024 has its first member. Brad Jackson, quarterback at Reagan High School in San Antonio, committed on Sunday. First commitment. Very timely. I mean, it was just the last episode talking about the 2024 class. 202 offers out. None of them have committed. I even highlighted some quarterbacks, and one of those quarterbacks was Brad Jackson. Now he's officially in the boat. First one for 2024. We'll get into more of that. Before we get there, this episode is sponsored by Austin Patchmaster. Austin.patchmaster.com. Any drywall repair you need some popcorn ceiling removed, got some cracks in your walls, even maybe you just punched a hole in the wall after a bad Texas State loss. Call my guys at Austin Patchmaster. They'll get you set up right. 512-200-3888. It's 512-200-3888. My guy Michael Clements over there, Texas State grad, a true sicko, sponsoring us through the summer. They can help you out anywhere in this Austin metro area. Even if you're in Dallas or Houston, they're a franchise. If you reach out to my guy Michael at Austin Patchmaster, they'll get you a referral down that way. So hit them up online at austin.patchmaster.com, 512-200-3888. And a quick special shout out to TGC, the Galindo Collective. I introduced them on the last pod. You're going to be hearing me say their name a whole lot here coming up soon, but I got to do another quick shout out to them because they sponsored our trip to Sunbelt Media Day in New Orleans. Got us hotel rooms and everything. 2 separate rooms. Don't have to force Webb to sleep on the couch. He'll have his own bed. Good for him. But I am very excited about that. Excited to keep promoting them all throughout the season. Business consultants, any general business consulting you need. My guy over there, Rick Galindo, specializes in hotels. He can help you obtain customers, all sorts of things, all sorts of any type of business consulting. They can help you out. They've even consulted me on this podcast. So the Galindo Collective, that's Galindo Collective, thegalindocollective.com. Hit my guy up, Rick, over there. All right, let's get to these Bobcats. A little bit of news. I brought up the commitment. We'll get to that part second because we got 2 parts I want to talk about before we get to the mailbag. Appreciate all the questions. Lots of great questions. And then, surprise, I have Brad Jackson, the man himself. Quick 15-minute interview I just did with him not too long ago. We'll get to hear from the new Texas State commit and what made him want to join the Bobcats. For right now, we have that donation from last week. I was trying to think. I was like, what did I want to talk about? It was a whole week ago. It was right after I put out the last episode. I say a whole week ago. It was like 4 days ago. Feels like a week to me since the last episode. But Texas State got a huge donation from Benny Boyd and his family, the Boyd family. I say Benny Boyd because some of you may know the car dealership, those commercials. Benny Boyd, y'all, that guy. He just gave another donation. He's done it before for the Bobcats. He is back again. And it's all going towards that end zone complex renovation that they've been working on. They had the groundbreaking ceremony in May. It's supposed to be working on it towards the end of June. We're towards the end of June right now, June 27th, but we'll see. I'm sure they'll start actually officially breaking ground. That isn't just a ceremony here pretty soon. But like I like to do in these situations, let's read from the press release that they put out because they I don't ever want to mince my words in these types of situations. And, Chris Coots over there at the Media Relations Department does a great job typing these up. So I like to read them out. So, and I've gotten good feedback. Apparently people like it when I read these. But here you go. This is from Texas State at txst.com. This is all about it. Texas State receives major gift from Boyd family. Texas State Athletics received a substantial gift from Benny and Michael Boyd to help with the Johnny and Natalie Wiseman Football Complex renovation and addition. In recognition of one of the largest gifts to the project, Texas State will name the Legacy Suites level at Bobcat Stadium after the Boyd family. The gift is part of a planned $37 million privately funded renovation project to the complex, which will include a new 8,000 square foot weight room, new players lounge, new training room with hydrotherapy, individual position meeting rooms, upgraded conference rooms with additional offices, a recruiting room, and additional premium hospitality spaces for fans to enhance the game day experience. Here's a quote from Dr. Kelly Damphus, friend of the pod. Quote, as we saw with the record crowds that attended last week's coaches shows in San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, and Austin, this is an exciting time for football fans at Texas State University. Coach Kinney and Don Coryell, athletics director, are taking our football program to the next level thanks to the support of alumni and donors. I am so grateful for the generosity of Benny and Michelle Boyd and for their faith in our student athletes and coaching staff. Having top-notch facilities is critical for recruiting great students and coaches. Their gift will help enable our team. This gift will help us enable. There's a misspelling here, but that's okay. Their gift will help us enable them to reach their full potential. End quote from Dr. Kelly Damphus. A little on Benny Boyd. Benny Boyd, the owner and CEO of Benny Boyd Motor Company, has owned and operated 10 dealerships throughout Texas, several other business interests around the state, and is partner of the historic YO Ranch headquarters in Kerrville. Benny serves on the Texas State Development Fund, McCoy College Business Advisory Board, Texas Automobile Dealers Association, and Board of Directors for the Austin Rodeo. So there you go. Nice gift that goes towards that renovation project. I know some of the questions for the mailbag are about those renovation projects and when are they going to get that started. So I'll hold off until then. I will say I'll talk about this part of it. It's fascinating to see the increase in donations since not necessarily GJ Kinney taking over in December, definitely an increase since that moment, but really since Damphus took over a year ago, it seems that people are trusting the vision and the direction of this program a little bit more. And then they go out and they hire GJ Kinney and all these donations are starting to come in. It's more that I don't know the exact numbers. USA Today came out with some numbers for all the colleges and what their donations have looked like. And if you take a look at it, Texas State's have been dwindling slowly since they became FBS. It seems like after what we've seen the last 6 months or so that may be turning around. That may be in the an increase for this year for the first time in a while. It seems like people are motivated and excited to see what is happening with the Bobcats and the direction that it's going. And that really fills my heart because that would be fantastic. It's something I've believed in this place for a while, and it's good to see that people with deeper pockets than me are starting to share that vision and believe in the potential of this place. So shout out to Benny Boyd. If you're in the market for a car, go to Benny Boyd. That's a free plug. They haven't paid us. Maybe they could, though. Should reach out to them. Got Chuck Nash, too, right up the street. Lots of sponsorship ideas. I hope you're not tired of hearing me read these sponsors because we need to do them. And I am greatly appreciative to them and the ones that we are talking to, not public yet. But we should have more to come. Before we get into the mailbag, a little bit on Brad Jackson. Like I said, we have that interview coming up with him. He is a class of 2024, so he still has his whole senior season left. First commitment, like I was saying, for this class. Nice to have one in really early. This is the earliest commitment I can think of in a while for the Bobcats, especially at a position of need like quarterback, where it's nice to, and I talk a little bit about that with Brad Jackson, where it's nice to kind of get the momentum going with a quarterback in there. He even talks about how he himself, now that he has committed this early, can kind of get out there and recruit some of these other players. But he was at Cy Creek in Houston his first 3 years. On Max Preps, it says he had 7,200 yards passing. On his bio, it says 7,500. I'm gonna tend to trust him more than Max Preps. So 7,500 yards, 75 touchdowns. He's even talking about how this year a goal of his is to get that 2,500 yards passing and 25 more touchdowns, so he can get 10,000 for his career and 100 touchdowns for his career. Those are some of his own personal goals. Obviously, number one on that is making the playoffs, and that's what he said about Reagan. Family situation is why he moved. Nothing nefarious. I know sometimes people see these prospects, they move and they think there might be some recruiting going on, but sometimes high school kids just move. And my dad was in the Navy. We moved all the time, and nobody cared when I moved, but I wasn't very good at football, so didn't raise a whole lot of eyebrows when I'd switch schools. But yeah, so now he's in San Antonio, not too far down the road. Nice to get a commitment. I know technically he just got to San Antonio, but I'm sure that's nice for this coaching staff to go into enemy territory, in San Antonio, and to come out of it with a commitment from a player like Brad Jackson. A great commitment. I like his film a whole lot. He doesn't have a ton of rushing numbers, but when you watch his film, you can see the elusiveness. Reminds me a lot of a younger CJ Rogers, even when you see their style of play. He's got a big arm on him, but he can still move around. Those feet are constantly moving. I'm not, a quarterback expert, so I won't say his feet are moving too much. He does kick him a lot while he's in the pocket. A real antsy guy, but it seems like he's just ready to go, ready to throw the ball on the run, and a good prospect for the Bobcats. Nice to get that one in the bag. And very timely, like I said. If you missed that last episode, we talked about quarterbacks, talked about Brad Jackson, and then boom, there he goes to the Bobcats. Let's get to this mailbag, though. Lots of questions, so I want to jump on this before I send you over to Brad Jackson. The initial plan was just I'll do the mailbag, answer some of these questions because there was a lot of them, but then the Brad Jackson commitment happens, and if I can get him on the pod, how can I pass that up, But appreciate all of you again using the hashtag WNOGB on Twitter. That's how you get to these questions. Hit up my Twitter at Kef_C, or the Windauer Get Bent Twitter, which is at Windauer Get Bent on Twitter. I know some of you threw a question or two in the DMs there, so I'll make sure to scroll over to that as well. Pretty sure it's from my guy Ray McCumber, and I forgot his questions before, so I won't forget it this time, Ray. First one we've got up. This is from Morgan Davidson at TXMoose70. Shout out to Morgan. He DM'd me about potentially using some data points, some extra data that he wants to use on the pod. So that might be cool down the road for sure, Morgan. But best professor at Texas State and favorite class outside of your field. Oh man, best professor. Gosh. That one, I would have, it's hard for me to think of ones outside of my field, because right off the bat, I was like, well, outside of my field, maybe Lori Fluker, but I'm pretty sure that was just an intro mass comm class. And then I think of Bob Jackson, because he actually technically wasn't my professor. He was also a journalism professor, but he did sub one class that I had, and he's actually the one who told our class, hey, we're hiring at the school paper, and kind of got this whole thing started for me. I did have a children's literature and critical theory professor, and I can't remember their name. He's from Australia. He has glasses. If you can think of who this guy is, he was fantastic. I had to take that class as part of an English credit, and I was like, what is this class? Children's literature. It was actually one of the more eye-opening classes I took. The critical theory part of it, I really enjoyed. I can't think of that professor's name, but I'd have to say, my favorite is Bob Jackson, just because, like I said, he started the journalism bug in me, and it hasn't stopped since. I realized then, like, oh man, I finally found my thing, and I wouldn't have found it without Bob Jackson, that's for sure. But shout out to Lori Fluker as well. I should have prepared better for that one, to think more about some of the professors I had that weren't in my focus. It was none of my math teachers, and it wasn't anything, not their fault. It's the subject matter itself. It's never good at math. I'm pretty sure I had to take a pre-algebra, not pre-algebra, a pre-algebra. It's when before it's a pre-algebra before the pre-algebra. So there you go. Thank you, Morgan. Appreciate that. We'll talk about those stats. DM me soon, and we'll can remind me on that one. I'm always open for that, some deeper analytics for sure. Oh, this one's from my guy, Baseball Nut, at Baseball Nut 46. Have you ever heard the story of someone butchering a deer in the communal shower in the dorm? They left the carcass hanging in the shower. The RAs weren't happy. It's an absolute true story. I had not heard that one. I'll say that's some efficiency. I have some questions though. What year did this happen? Was it in season? Was this in the fall? Were they allowed to kill this deer? Did they have the proper tags and hunting license? Where did they kill this deer? Hopefully not on campus, but there's some areas I could see. There's the disc golf course right there on campus. I could see it's a little bit of a wide open space, but that concerns me, especially if they're using a gun. What if they miss? How far does that bullet go? Bow and arrow, I might shrug it off. I'd say at least they used the shower, the communal shower. There's the drain right there in the middle. That is really helpful in that situation. At least it wasn't somewhere like in the cafeteria in front of a lot of people. But it's not ideal. I need a year. That's got to be pre 1990. That's definitely a Southwest Texas state story if I've ever heard one. But I like it. I don't know what I would think if I walked in a communal shower and there was a hanging deer carcass. I'd probably ask for some venison. That would be my first thing and be like, listen, I'll look the other way, but I need some backstrap. I need something. I need to get something out of this. That's an interesting story. I also need to know what dorm. Need more info from you, Baseball Nut. I appreciate you as always. One of the few sickos whose hand I've shook. Yeah, I've met my guy over here a few times. Shout out to Rockport, Texas. Good fishing down there. All right, this one is from Creme Brulee, my guy. Another sicko whose hand I've shook. Need that hot dog. We'll get at this tailgate. Great question here. What uniform combo should be our go-to home combo? I remember one of you brought up a uniform question. Now that I'm reading this one, I don't think I fully answered. So I'm glad we're circling back to it. Important topic, especially for summertime. Let's go. Here's what we're picking from. A, all maroon, top, bottom helmet. All of it maroon. B, maroon bottom, maroon top, gold helmet. C, gold bottom, maroon top, gold helmet. D, all black everything. E, icy whites. If I'm gonna rank them, because C is my favorite. C is my favorite. The gold bottom, maroon top, gold helmet. I feel like that's the traditional look. Before, when I was asked about this, I think I brought up the SWT throwbacks as a uniform I really like. The C combo that I just talked about is my true favorite. Love that one. I look at that one and I think Texas State. There goes the Bobcats. My second one is probably less traditional because I love the icy whites. I love the icy whites. I think that's my second favorite one besides C. So I'm going to go C and then E. And then I'm going to go B, which is the maroon bottom, maroon top, gold helmet. And then I'll go A, all maroon. And then my very last one will be all black. And it's not I love a good all black look. No doubt. I just have, I don't think I've seen them win in the all black. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, someone correct me. I don't recall ever seeing a win because I always think that I'm like, oh, I love the black uniforms, and they go out and lose. And I'm like, okay, maybe bury them and burn them and bury them and throw them away. But C is my favorite. Gold bottom, maroon top, gold helmet. That's a classic look. But I guess the question is go-to home combo. So now when I really think about it, I'm going to take icy whites out of my second because I think that's a once a year. It's not a go-to. It's a once a year. But C, I'm confident it being a go-to. And I love the gold helmet. So I'm going to go, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. C and B. C is my top one. B is right there with it too. And if we're going traditional, throw A. I don't love the all maroon, even with the maroon helmet, but I can live with it, Good stuff, Creme Brulee. Great question. That one got my brain going. Got me excited to see some of these combos this fall. It doesn't take much to get me excited about football. All right, this is from Rep the State of Texas at TXST Game Day. Another sicko's hand I've shook. Well, it can't dox my guy over here though, but I met him at the Incarnate Word game. Incarnate Word versus Furman. Here we go. This is from our guy TXST Game Day. I hear that if San Diego State bolts from the Mountain West, they forfeit the $10 million earned from the NCAA men's basketball tournament, with Mountain West paying slightly more per school. And if they were to add UTEP, or if they were to give UTEP a fraction of that 10 million, I'm not, you may have, I don't know why. But do you think the Texas State Athletics would consider a change to the Mountain West? Okay. There we go. We got there with the Mountain West part, because that's actually something I have heard before. Somebody has asked me this one about the potential move of Texas State to the Mountain West. Right off the bat, I don't love it. I think if there's one G5 conference they would look to move to, it's the AAC, especially after seeing them unveil like this new graphic with the AAC, the new era of it and everything. And there you see Rice and UNT and UTSA and SMU. I just feel like Texas State's missing out on that party. And it would be nice to have some Texas rivals in the conference. And you're not really going to get that with the Mountain West. I mean, maybe UTEP, but doesn't do much for me. It doesn't do a lot for me, but that's me. That's coming from this side of it, where I'm not thinking about the financial aspects of it, where if they are making more money, and if there's one thing this area needs, it's more capital to do things they want. We're just talking about how they're having all these projects to get more renovations and donations and all this stuff so they can improve, than maybe taking a TV deal or a conference deal that pays a little bit more could be beneficial. I don't love it. I don't love that, even the thought of Mountain West. I really like the Sun Belt. And like I said, even if there was any of them that they were to consider, AAC would be the one. American Athletic. I've been kind of in denial until it's weird. It was like yesterday or something. I saw that graphic and was like, I got this like FOMO. I'm like, oh man, that would be fun. It would be nice to just, a lot of the conference games are you can just travel right to them. But yeah, I guess if the question is, what do I think of that? And that's what I think. I think I would understand if they did it because it made more money. I would reluctantly accept it. I wouldn't love it. I'd love an AAC jump, and I'm fine, totally fine with them staying in the Sun Belt. Wish there were more Texas teams, but I can accept it. Next one we have cisgender in this economy. Oh, it's at Goots for Heisman. It's our guy Goots. He always has a new name every time I see him. Goots, my guy. Hope you're doing well in New Mexico. I don't know if I've met him in person. I've definitely talked with him a lot over the last decade. It's a good dude. Please describe the wildest Sagewood party you've been to and how many garage doors were destroyed in the process. Man, it's funny because right now I live closer to Sagewood than I ever have in my life. Even when I was in school, I was always kind of on the other side of town, and now I'm right down the street from it. And it hasn't been since college. It's been well over a decade since I went to a true Sagewood rager, a Ragewood, if you will. It's been a while. I will say the details of it are hazy. I can remember it being Halloween, and this was a time where if you know Sagewood, you can block it off pretty easily, and this was one of those times where they blocked it off to have almost a block party. I can remember cops coming. I can remember making a hasty escape. I can't remember if any garage doors were damaged, how many specifically. I do know they prevent the youths from blocking off the street anymore to turn it into that Sagewood block party. But there used to be some good times on Sagewood. I hear it's tamer. I would imagine it's tamer. But even when I was in school, you'd have some of the old heads, some of the townies saying, "Hey, you don't even know. In my day, Ragewood was insane. That was where it was at, probably in the 80s. Probably, who probably lived at Sagewood? That guy Baseball Nut asked us about. I guarantee you that guy, he got done cleaning that carcass in the communal shower, and he went back to his room. He was probably the guy sleeping in the garage. Usually you can have 4 living there. There's another one sneaking in the garage. That was probably our guy who cleaned that deer. Shout out to Ragewood. Never lived on it. Like I said, never even really lived that close to it until now, and I don't go anywhere near it. Shout out to my guy Goots, the Goose, the Texas State Goose over there. Appreciate that question. Next up, we got Atomic Punk. What's up, my guy? At JTESPI87. Were you born in 1987? 88 over here. I'm not judging the age. I'm just wondering what the 87's about. Will there be a Sickos get together at the Roadbird game in San Antonio? That's a good idea. We need to show support in San Antonio. It was horrible seeing how many of those Roadbirds traveled up to San Marvelous the last time we played them. We need to show up big time. Big time. I like calling them Roadbirds. I'm going to adopt that. Thank you, Atomic Punk. Yes, I'd like that. I'd love that. I'm going to be there. Zach Webb's going to be there, of course. He's going to have a nice new shiny camera as well, so maybe we can get some of you on camera. But yeah, I'm absolutely up for that. In some sort of tailgate capacity or whatever. I think the Bobcats need to represent. It's a game. It's right down the road. It's not a far drive. You can carpool with some of your buddies, bring as many people as you can if you're here in San Marcos. But yeah, absolutely. I think the Bobcats really need to show up. I think this is as important a game on the schedule as any of them. And I know maybe someone on the outside looking in is like, that's a non-conference game against a fellow G5 opponent. How important can that really be? I just think it's so important for the morale of this place to get that win. I mean, it's 4 losses already to UTSA. I've been to every single one. One of them as a fan in 2012. The rest as a reporter covering them all. Some heartbreaking losses. The last ones were really, real heartbreaking. There was that one in 16 that was that 16 or 17 where they ran away with it, and that was okay. I can just think of Josiah Tawaefa running down the field with that hair flowing out of the back of his helmet, scoring a touchdown and crushing my dreams. That was the one blowout. Otherwise, it's been, I guess 2012 wasn't that close, but it felt close. It was closer than it should have been because of Sean Rutherford. Shout out to Sean Rutherford. That's back-to-back pods where I'm giving him a shout out. But yeah, that's an important one. It is. And I truly feel that we've heard, I can remember when Everett Withers was the coach and he downplayed it, said it's not even a rivalry. And it was just felt disrespectful to the whole fan base's feelings when he said that. And I know a lot of people felt a certain type of way about it. I don't think these guys take it that way. And I think they even take it a step further as far as personal pride, like we've been talking about these recruiting battles. I brought up Cedric Lott on the last episode, another guy that they're competing against UNT and UTSA for. They just got the commitment from Brad Jackson. I know he didn't have any UTSA offers, but I'm sure them getting a quarterback out of San Antonio does feel good to get it out of that market. To hashtag Take Back Texas. I'm sure that was important to them. And a big part of taking back Texas is taking it back in this local area, in the central area. And because as of right now, UTSA has got it. And if you want to take back Texas, it starts there. It starts with UTSA. This should be the most important game on the schedule for now, till they, whatever, maybe make a bowl game, play for the Sun Belt Championship. Yeah, those games would be more important, no doubt. But I think on its face value, those 12 games, that one on September 9th is the big one. And it's in San Antonio. All of you should travel. If you travel, you go out there, a bunch of you sickos, I'll come see you. No doubt about it. I don't know if I'll share a beer with you pregame just because, got to be a professional journalist and all that good stuff. But I'll definitely be out there. I met up with my guy, Creme Brulee, and he gave me a good hot dog. So I'll come find you. You got a tailgate, I'll come find you, especially in San Antonio. The Bobcats are going to need a lot of support in that game. So I'll tell you this right now, man, they're cocky about it. They're not. Texas State is an afterthought to some of these UTSA people now. They look at that that game on the schedule there, and they're already putting in a W right next to it. They don't think the Bobcats can do it. And they haven't shown that they could the last 4 tries. It's a different situation now. It's a different team, different coach, different administration. Everything's different except me. I'm still here. Maybe I'm the common denominator. Uh-oh. Let's not think about that one too hard. Let's just get this win this year. How about that? Great stuff, Atomic Punk. In summation, got to beat the Roadbirds. I'm stealing that. It's from my guy, Robert Garcia. What's up, Robert? At Robert Garcia the 4th. That's Roman numerals IV at the end of his handle. Any news on if, and if so, where Cats Garden will be this season? I don't have an update. I've brought it up before. They will still have Cats Garden. I can confirm that. I don't know where it will be at the stadium because they're doing the end zone complex renovations. It was kind of in that behind the end zone in that area of the stadium, and now the end zone complex is going to extend out to that part. I know they still plan on having the Cats Garden. I know it was actually pretty popular with families and everything. They did a concert at the end of the games as well. A lot of people stuck around for that. So I thought it was a pretty successful addition. Seems like it's something Don Coryell, the new athletic director, I say new, it's been a couple years now, the athletic director, I think that was something he spearheaded that I think has been pretty successful, because I've had a lot of people ask about it for sure. And Robert is asking about it again, but they will have it. Don't know where. As soon as I know, I will let you know. And I think that's as soon as they know, because I think I don't want to speak for them, the administration, the school. I think they are waiting for construction to officially start for the renovation, and then they'll have a better idea of where they can set up and make sure they have all that cool stuff like the floaties for the kids and concessions and stuff like that. So they will have it, though. They will have it, and I will update you when I know for sure. Appreciate that, Robert. Hope you're well, my guy. This one is from Ray LW at RDub35 _35. What's up, Ray? How you doing? What is the status on donations for the End Zone Complex baseball softball stadium renovations? They have announced some large donations recently and was curious about how much they still need to fund both projects. I don't have the exact specs. I just read the press release from them, and they didn't put that information out, how close or how far away they are. I know for the End Zone Complex, it's that $37 million is what they're looking for, and for baseball softball, it's $8 million. And now baseball softball got that $1 million from Tyler Sibley plus some other ones. I know that the End Zone Complex has been gifted with millions of dollars. Pretty sure this one from Benny Boyd was as well, because they have that heroes a specific bracket that they call people that donate a certain amount, like the Heroes of Texas State or something like that. Sorry if I'm butchering whatever that's called, but I know in order to reach that threshold, it has to be a pretty big donation. And they've had a few of those. I don't think they're at 37 million, but they are at a point where they are comfortable enough to start working on it, knowing that, okay, the rest of the money will come. Because it seems like they're a smart university and they're not going to spend money that they don't have. But sometimes you gotta get things going. So I imagine they have to be pretty close. Both of those are great questions that I need to actually follow up on with the administration there. Cats Garden and how far along or how close are they to their goals and some of these donation projects. So great stuff. Great back-to-back questions on both of those that I'll get more clarity on for sure. Appreciate that one from you, Ray LW. This one's from Derek Stavonia. What's up, Derek? My guy Derek over here. D Stav 1868. Now I know 1868 is not your birth year. Maybe there's some significance. I don't know. It might just be some numbers. But let's go, Stav. Let's get it. When will we actually see construction starting at the End Zone Complex expansion? A lot of questions on that. Great stuff. That one I was told will start at the end of June. We're at the end of June, and I haven't seen it start yet. I know the date in mind was like June 30th. And we're coming up pretty close to that. So we'll see if they start getting that going at the end of this week. But imagine if not the end of this week, has to start in early July at some point because they keep saying it's going to start this summer, this summer, this summer, and they keep pushing it off, and it won't be summer anymore. But I know the plan is the end of June, and that's coming up. So we'll see. I drive by it every time I go to HEB. I drive by it. Don't tell parking services I'll cut through the parking lot from Ocarina to the HEB. Just go around, keep my eyes on the football complex, see if they're getting anything going as well. And I haven't seen any construction there as of yet, but I imagine they will start soon for sure. Appreciate you, Derek. Don't know if you go by Stav, but you should. Next one from Chris Parker at Chris PA 2821435. Man, just missed out on 2821435, huh? Almost had it. Can you do a full episode or episodes breaking down each opponent? Yeah. It's actually a 3-part one, so I'll answer each one as I read it. Yeah, absolutely. Breaking down each opponent, that is definitely on the plan. I was thinking about it more in fall camp. I could start earlier if that's something that people are itching for more. I kind of had some other plans, do some interviews, talk about some nice summer topics. I know Webb actually brought up a really good one that I'm going to do for the next one. It's pros and cons of whether or not we should believe in this Texas State team. If y'all want to get to work on that and send me some pros and cons, I've got my list going. Absolutely. I do want to do a preview of each team. If you want them sooner, then we can get those going for sure. I know what I even specifically want to do is maybe even talk to reporters from those beats, get some more in-depth analysis on who the Bobcats are going to play. I know my guy Zach Smith was just hired by the Waco Tribune to do Baylor, so I'd love to reach out to him. He was at the Hill Country News, kind of in Leander, that area. He'd come down and do some Texas State stuff every now and then. So shout out to Chris Smith, nice guy. Number 2, second part of this question says rivals. I know everyone wants a UTSA rivalry, but I really want to beat the Cajuns. Besides UTSA, who are our biggest rivals? Who hates us? I love the Cajun one just because in my mind that is one of the staples in the Sun Belt. They've been in the Sun Belt longer than Texas State. They've been a thorn in Texas State's side in seemingly every sport since the Bobcats have been in the Sun Belt. I would like for that to be a rivalry. I feel like it might be a one-sided rivalry where Texas State sees Louisiana on the docket and they really, really want to win and doesn't work out every time. But I don't know if Louisiana thinks about Texas State the same way, especially when you think about them in state. They have that rivalry with ULM. I just don't think that I don't think it's reciprocated. I think it's more of a hill that the Bobcats want to climb and overcome, but I don't think it's necessarily on the minds of the Raging Cajuns. That being said, I think if there is one in conference, and I've said this before, it's got to be Arkansas State. They're on an island, the same as Texas State. They're the only school in Arkansas. Now that Little Rock's gone, they're the only school in Arkansas in the Sun Belt. Texas State's the only team in Texas in the Sun Belt. I feel like there's some comparable traits. I mean, if you want to go real recency bias with the comparable traits, if you look at recruiting, right there with Arkansas State. Arkansas State's doing great things on the recruiting trail as well. If you look at the parallels of like Kelly Damphus coming, he was the chancellor at Arkansas State, coming down to San Marcos. I don't know if that's something that really irks them. Think of like Lincoln Perry transferring to Texas State, Lane Hatcher transferring to Texas State. Although I will say, should have known better when Lane Hatcher transferred to Texas State and those Red Wolves weren't that salty. They were like, oh, see you later. Have fun with that experience. Remember there's tweets like, have fun with the Hatcher family. And little did we know, they were mad about Lincoln Perry, and Perry's still here, led the team in rushing last season. So I think there might be more parallels in conference with that rivalry. Bobcats versus Red Wolves. I mean, shoot, even natural enemies, dogs versus cats. Why they're a wolf, but canine family. I think there's potential there as far as a conference rival. It's going to be hard for me to ever mentally overcome Texas State's true rival as UTSA. That's what concerns me the most about this one, this fifth meeting this season, is that if they lose that, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what to make of that. I don't even want to really even think about that. But if the Bobcats lose a fifth one to UTSA, I mean, how could you call it a rivalry? It's a one-way beating at that point. But UTSA, I feel like, will always be the Bobcats' rival, no matter what conference it's, even if it's just location proximity, that they're a 40-minute drive and you're at UTSA. Yeah, Arkansas State is the one that I can think of. It's why I'd like for if the Bobcats jumping conferences ever came up. This is going back to an earlier question with the AAC. Them if they were to ever move to another conference, that's where I'd like, just for all the Texas rivalries that they don't get in the Sun Belt. But I do like the Sun Belt, and I think if they could develop a real rivalry with Arkansas State, that would be fun. It would have to take both fan bases to get motivated for, and I just don't think at this time it motivates either fan base. But it should. Number 3 for Chris Parker. Sorry, I lasted a while on number 2. You bring up UTSA and you get me going. It says, my pick, Baylor upset. What upsets do you have? I'm going to take UTSA. I mean, shoot. I just spent so long talking about number 2. If I have a real upset where I'm looking at that schedule, that maybe it's wishful thinking, but maybe it's me thinking that enough is enough, and it feels like this program has had enough. This place has had enough. These fan bases have had enough, and enough is enough. Not going to take a fifth loss. Can't see it happening, a fifth loss. And I get it. Jeff Traylor, Frank Harris, all these wonderful things going on with the Roadbirds. Thanks for that one, Atomic Punk. I like that one. Thanks. Lots of great things going on down there, and it's talk about a great way to deflate their balloon. Just hand them a loss in the Alamo Dome. I'd like that. And I think when I look at their schedule and potential upsets, that's the number one that sticks in my mind. I don't know if people are considering the Nevada game an upset if the Bobcats would win. I think that's more even than an upset than like UTSA, just based on their most recent success and how things are still in place for them at UTSA. A Baylor win would be huge as well, though, and I'm not saying that can't happen. I think a lot of it depends on how this offense is looking and what the quarterback situation is, and maybe they can catch the Bears underestimating Texas State. I think that would play into their favor, especially having so many new players, a new coach, a new system. You could catch them lacking a little bit, where they're not fully expecting the Bobcats, because they don't really know what they're looking for on that one. But that was a great question. Appreciate that 3-part question there on that one. Trying to get back to my questions now over here. There we go. All right, now we're cooking again. Oh, he has a 4th one. It is a separate question. This is also from my guy Chris Parker. In case you want to follow him, that's Chris Pa 282-14351. Hopefully you wrote that down. Hat in the works, and he sent me a sicko hat. Oh, I love it. Especially, you got the style I was looking for too. The trucker hat, I guess, if you will, the mesh back, the nice gray in the front says sicko across it. I guess I've got a camera now. I can hear. Here, I'll make the picture big. There you go. We'll see. Webb's probably going to hate that. but yeah, that's the hat. Yeah, hats. I'm glad you brought up merch. Merch is big. WNOGB.com. WinNowOrGetBent.com. You can check out all of our merch. I'm wearing the shirt right now. If you're watching the YouTube video, you can see me showing it off. There's the Mad Cat there. Lots of other cool stuff coming. I even have a tank top. I might as well reach for it right here. I didn't want to wear the tank top on the pod. A little too much skin, Didn't want to show off the shoulders. There you go. I got the blue tank top. right there. I like the blue. I feel like it goes really well with the Mad Cat. It's summertime too. You know, I got to change it up from the black a little bit. Yeah, hats though for sure. Hats are number one on my list. But we just why they haven't been introduced yet is we want to make sure that we have the right hats. We want them to be good quality. As you can see, I have the tank top there. I'm wearing the shirt here. I've even got a shot glass that's not on there yet. May not be on there, but there you go. There's the shot glass. We need a better a bigger logo and some other things while we're not doing that a specific shot glass. We're going to introduce some things, but we want to product test it, make sure it's all really good, up quality stuff. So when you order it, you're not disappointed. But hats is number one. We will have hats by fall camp. I'm saying it. I'm declaring it. We will have hats and that style of hat. I'm glad that you sent the trucker style hat because when I told Webb, the wizard, Zach Webb, when I told him, let's first hat, trucker hat. He was like, I don't think so. I don't think trucker hats are in. And then the NFL draft happened like right after that, and they're all handing out the trucker hats. And I was like, see, told you, trucker hats. They're back, baby. They're back, which is great. It's my style in my house. They never went away. I've always been wearing the trucker hat. But yeah, hats for sure. And I think there's another merch question, so I'll save some other stuff for that. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up. We will be introducing hats. Stay tuned for more merch stuff. We'll be introducing more. Oh man, I'm already getting to an hour. I gotta get through these questions. This happens every time I do a mailbag. I know Webb wasn't excited when I threw an interview in here as well. Nice extra long pod for you. This one's from J.E. Heath at Luther Nerd. Nice. The show Luther, the one with Idris Elba. It's not a bad show. BBC. Is this the year College Game Day comes to San Marcos? From your lips to God's ears, J.E. Heath. Man, I would love that. That would be incredible. I can imagine the signs. I don't know if you'd set them up in the parking lot of Bobcat Stadium or if you put them at Sewell. You could put them at Sewell Park. So much fun stuff they could do with that. And I hope so. I do hope so. I think if they can get a Baylor upset, if you can get that UTSA win, who knows? Who knows? It's a shame Deion's not at Jackson State anymore because then that could have been that you could have maybe gotten some ESPN cameras down here, some non-ESPN Plus cameras, I should say. I hope so, J.E. Heath. I hope so. Appreciate the question, man. Appreciate you listening. This one is from Texan Vet at Cowboy Texan 55. Heck yeah. Where was I? Oh, here we go. With preseason Sunbelt rankings coming out and with our outstanding recruiting class and overhaul of a roster, why is Texas State still ranked at the bottom of the conference, specifically in the West Division? Well, recent history. I mean, it's been 8 seasons since this team's had a winning record. It's a new coach. It's a lot of new players that people aren't familiar with. You may know their names from being P5 transfers, but you don't really know how they're going to play at this level. I understand it. I understand. And it's a tough schedule. You look at Texas State's schedule, that's one of the toughest in the Sun Belt. Top to bottom, that's not an easy schedule they have coming up. So I understand the timid rankings for now. I don't know if it's going to hold true when the season starts. I think this team's going to be much better than people think. The 4.5 wins that Vegas has them at as kind of like the over-under. I think that Texas State will get over 4.5. I think they are going to surprise some people, but I do understand why people on the outside looking in would still rank them where they have them ranked right now, towards the bottom of the Western Division. I don't think they'll finish there, but I also, at the same time, I understand why they have them ranked there. It's more the Bobcats gotta prove it. They gotta show people. It's just like when Terrence Johnson took over for Casper with the basketball program, and what was it, last place the Bobcats were picked to finish, and they ended up winning the Sun Belt regular season. So, those preseason polls, those early rankings, they don't mean too much, and a lot of times people don't have all the details. because when they're covering the conference as a whole, they're looking at it as a whole and ranking these teams. They don't know the ins and outs like we do. Like we're sickos over here. We're paying attention to every little detail that's going on. We're counting how many offers the 2024 class has. I also got to say, I'm pretty sure I saw a 2028 offer right before I started recording. I need to go look into that. If that is true, that is an 8th grader. That would be the first one for 2028, which would be incredible. Appreciate that, Texan Vet. Good stuff. I like the handle too. This one is from my guy Logan at Logan Beast 23. What's up, Logan? I'm keeping that disc golf arm warm. I promise you. Maybe we need some Win Now or Get Bent discs. I know Logan would buy one. If you entered in a Super Smash Bros. Tournament, who would your character be and why? Wow. It's been a long time since I've played Super Smash Brothers. I can remember loving Kirby just because I loved sucking people up. They'd be gone. Almost you'd pop them out. They'd fall off the edge of wherever you were fighting. So I like Kirby. I don't think Kirby's the best. It's probably a bad answer. If you're a Super Smash Bros. Head, then you're probably hearing that like, Hef, come on, Kirby? Really? I feel like I remember being Pikachu electrocuting some people. That was fun too. Maybe I'd just go for the fluffy, cute characters, and I should go for someone a little better. But that's probably who I'd go with. I'd go with Kirby if I was picking right now and maybe playing for a while. All right, I need someone with a little more muscle over here. Give me someone that'll smash somebody. It is the title of the game. It's not Super Suck Brothers over here. It's Super Smash Brothers. Oh goodness. Appreciate that one, Logan. This one is from Dylan Domestic at Dylan_Crane. What's up, Dylan? Appreciate you jumping in here with a good question. Which do you prefer if you're going to swim at the river? Sewell Park, Rio Vista Park, or Stokes Park? I think if I'm going for a swim, I'm going to go to Rio Vista. If it's just a swim, going to actually get in the water, Rio Vista's the move. Now, if you're a single man and you're trying to socialize a little more, I'd go to Sewell Park. Lots of, it's great view at Sewell Park. You can go there, and I am a family man, so I am taking my family to Rio Vista. But Stokes Park is where you go if you're trying to hide from everybody. You know, that one's it's on the other side of the highway. It's got that nice, beautiful waterfall, trees all around it. That's the one where you don't want to be seen. I don't know if I'd swim it. I don't know if I've ever swam at Stokes. I know I've hung out and, you know, they got that nice trail and everything back there and the waterfall, like I said. I don't know if I've swam in that water out there. It doesn't seem like it's flowing as much as Rio Vista. I like Rio Vista. I mean, I use Sewell and Rio Vista. I will jump in at Sewell with a tube, my own tube. Don't pay for that tube, the Lions Den or whatever that is. I just use my own tube and walk back. It's real simple. Jump in at Sewell, get out at Rio Vista. Boom. Walk back, maybe 10 minutes with your tube. It's not bad at all. That's my move. It's an hour-long float. You can even do 2 of them. If you're like, man, that wasn't enough, you walk back, you do it again. That's my little sneak for out there. But I'll even add a 4th one for you, a 4th swimming hole. I'm sure a lot of you know it. It's kind of on the border of Kyle and San Marcos, but 5 Mile Dam Park is great. I think that might even be the best swimming of the options, which I don't know if that's a hot take or what have you, but that one, great, really good fishing. I love to fish out there. I'll fish there and also at the, I don't know what the spot is called, but it's the Blanco River right behind, what are those apartments? The Ave or something like that. It's like exit 207 or 208. It's a good little, not great swimming, but it's a great spot for fishing right back there, kind of on the side of the highway even, really. But yeah, 5 Mile Dam Park is really good for swimming. It was a lot better before the big flood in 2015. They used to have like rope swings over on these big tall trees out there. And then that big flood came through. I'm sure a lot of you remember that, where like Ocarina was underwater. And it washed away a lot of those big trees, which is a real bummer. It was a totally different area until that flood, and but it's still great. I know they did a big project replanting trees and keeping up with that area. So go check out 5 Mile Park. It's great for like picnics. Man, if you go out there on the 4th of July, it is jam packed with people. So that's a good one. That was a good one. Appreciate that one, Dylan. That's the good type of summer questions I like right there. And this one from Alonzo, my guy Alonzo at Runner XC8. I gotta say, Alonzo, I'm disappointed. It looks like it's only one. I don't know if I scared you off by saying don't throw 12 at me, but you can throw 12. You don't have to do just one. You don't have to censor yourself here. This is a safe space. Throw as many questions at me as you'd like, and I will answer them. This is a good one from our guy Alonzo. Not a runner. He runs in real life. Not a road bird. There you go, Atomic Punk. I'm just gonna keep using it. Can we get better win now or get bent shirt options in the store? Ooh, a quarter zip. Quarter zip is his suggestion. Yeah, absolutely. More merch, no doubt about it. More merch. A quarter zip. That's cool to know that you guys want. Give me that kind of feedback. I love to hear that. The type of stuff that you want to see, because I wouldn't have thought of a quarter zip shirt, especially it being summertime. So any ideas that you have? I know a lot of you like the Sicko shirt. Some of the feedback I heard on that is some color to it. So we want to do some maroon and gold and white and black and stuff like that. We just got to make sure we're not stepping on any toes at Texas State before we put any colors on there. But we actually have other designs of the Sicko shirt with maroon and gold and all of that. And we plan on doing a vote, which ones you guys think are the best. And if it's a split vote, then hey, maybe we offer all of them. But even, any designs of the shirts like the Sicko one, or the style of shirt, the quarter zip, like was just suggested by Runner, throw that at us, throw that at me. Hit me up in my DMs. We have our email too, wnogbkeff@gmail.com, wnogbkeff @gmail.com. You can hit that one up. I haven't brought it up in a few episodes, and I should. If you're trying to sponsor the pod or do anything specific with the pod, reach out to us there, and you can even give us suggestions for merch or suggestions for whatever segment suggestions. Feel free. Like if you feel like you can't get a hold of me on my DMs, because sometimes my DMs get crazy, that email is always going, wnogbkeff@gmail.com. But the quarter zip, yeah, absolutely. Better options, more options than just the logo. It's nice to have the logo on there, but we have other shirt designs we've been kicking around. Even want to start working with graphic designers that we get some really cool things going where it's more than just the pod logo. This pod logo is just the first one. It's the launch. But by the time the season's going, we're going to be really cooking. Hopefully like sweaters and hats and beanies and just lots of good stuff coming for you. So appreciate you asking that one, Runner. And we're going to bring you the good stuff. I called you Runner, Alonzo. Thanks for that, Alonzo. And go ahead and feel free to bombard me with questions the next mailbag. I'm going to try and do them about once a month with these mailbags, but I have a really good time. Obviously, I've been talking and answering these for about an hour now, but looks like this is our last one. Oh, nope. I got the one from Ray McCumber. Cannot forget that one. In fact, we're going to go to Ray right now. Let's see. Scroll in the DMs. Here we go. It's from my guy, Ray McCumber, at Ray_ATC. What's up, Ray? How about Ben Bell making some noise in the Fun Belt Lettuce Awards? Do you think he has the best hair in the belt? Also, do you think we have a shot to upset Baylor? What percentage would you give us to pull it off? Man, okay. First off, yeah, I'm glad someone brought it up, because that should have been talked about at the beginning as newsworthy topics that have gone down with Texas State. Yes, I do think he has the best hair in the Sun Belt, and I think that poll was a sham. I think it seems like a very nice young man, Drew, at Southern Miss with his red mullet. I get it. It looks very nice. This is a lettuce award. By that, I mean, think about if it was like the state fair and they're judging someone's a head of lettuce. Which one are you going to vote for? You're going to vote for the one that has a lot of hair in the back, or a lot of lettuce in the back, but not a whole lot in the front, or the one that's full with a lot of lettuce, like a big thing of lettuce. That's Ben Bell, not the mullet from Drew. It's fine. Very nice. Very nice. And I applaud him cutting it into a mullet. It fits in very well with where he plays school in southern Mississippi. I just think when we're talking the lettuce award and you look at Ben Bell, that's the lettuce man right there. I tweeted that's the whole salad bar on his head. I mean, that's a great head of hair. And not only is it long and flowing and curly, but it's red. Looks like molten hot lava pouring out of a helmet whenever he lines up out there. So, no, I'm disappointed. He lost by 0.5% of a vote. I even did everything I could to rig it and tell all of you to vote on it multiple times, trying to get him to win. Didn't work out, but that's okay. He's the lettuce man in our heart. Best hair in the Sun Belt. I can say that confidently. Way better than the red mullet. Do you think we have a shot to upset Baylor? I do. It kind of, I think I touched on it a little bit earlier. It's going to go back to if you catch them at a time where they underestimate the Bobcats. Not a ton of film, at least not at Texas State with G.J. Kinney and this style of offense. Not any film with all these players playing together. I think it's going to take a lot of that, a lot of catching the Bears napping a little bit. But it's a team they're familiar with. They've played them the last couple of years, but at the same time, this coaching staff hasn't. These players haven't, so I can't even really put that in Texas State's favor. So I do think they have a shot. It's not. It's like when I was talking about upsets earlier, and I said I think they have a better shot at the UTSA upset than a Baylor Bears one, but that would be incredible. A Baylor Bears upset would be huge. A P5 win, you know. I mean, really the one big win that the Bobcats have is Houston back in 2012, and they're G5. So I mean, P5 now, but can't retroactively give them that tag. There you go. Now I think we're on the last one. Thank you to Ray. This one is from our guy. Oh, wow. From the athletics director himself. Oh, no, wait. It's a parody account. At Don Coryell, DONN. It's 2 N's. Watch out for that, folks. You don't want this guy tricking you. Donnie C. Even clicking on the picture, he's got a fake smile on Don Coryell. Sure. I wonder what Don Coryell thinks looking at that. He's like, man, there's fake accounts. Make a real account, Don, and then this wouldn't have to happen. But here we go. It's a question from our guy, Fake Don. And he quote tweeted a graphic from Big Game Boomer. And best burger joints in every college town. Oh, God. And he says, seeing this makes me throw up. So we were going to ask the real question. What is the best burger joint in San Marcos, and why is it the Tap Room? See, here he answered. He already knows the answer to the question. Because here, this graphic, we have P. Terry's for the best burger in San Marcos, which is wrong. They're fine. They're fine burgers. I'll take them over In-N-Out for sure. I'm not an In-N-Out fan. The burgers in In-N-Out are fine. The fries are just so bad that I just don't even frequent that establishment. But yeah, no, it's a fast food place. So you right off the bat, the best burgers in town can't be fast food. There used to be a Five Guys. They're gone now. I really like Five Guys. I would say Five Guys would have been my favorite fast food one. A lot of you hardcore Texans are saying, well, what about Whataburger? But you know, those Five Guys burgers are pretty good. I love when I go to Whataburger, I get the honey chicken strip sandwich meal, the one with the chicken strips, Texas toast, barbecue sauce. That's what I get. That's my go-to. I don't even go for the burger, but Whataburger is still the best fast food in Texas for sure. But if we're talking burgers, I wouldn't put them on this list of best burgers in San Marcos. Now, there's the Tap Room, as was mentioned. They have the queso guacamole burger. That is the staple. That's the best burger in town. You're looking for the best burger. That's the one. Go get it. You get queso and guacamole. It says it all in the title. It's perfect. Perfect burger. Perfect combination. If you're looking for something a little different, Hop Dottie isn't bad. Hop Dottie is actually really good. I'll go to them pretty often to get that magic shroom burger. They got a really good truffle aioli they put on burgers. It's like fancier. It's like when there's craft beer. This is like a craft burger. is when you go to Hop Dottie. But if you just want a burger, Tap Room. That's the move. RIP to Centerpoint Cafe. They're gone. Used to be by the outlet malls over there. That was my favorite burger in town for a while. They were really good, and they're gone. So there you go, burgers. None of them sponsor me. I should have said the one that's going to sponsor me. That's the best burger in town. Any of them want to sponsor me? Let's go. I'll eat a burger on the pod. I don't care. But that looks to be it. Yep, that is it. That's it for the questions. Great questions. Great summer questions. We'll do another one in July for sure. But gosh, I've been talking for so long, but Brad Jackson's coming up. It's only a 15-minute interview. Please stick around and listen to it. It's great to talk with him. I can probably the youngest guest I've had on the pod. I mean, he still has the senior year of high school coming up. Not only that, he's got a terrific mustache that I would have died to being able to grow in high school. That thing's great. If you saw some of the posts, looked like Mac Leftwich shaved his beard into a mustache for the recruiting trip. So if you want to know what kind of recruiters they've got on this staff, that's a great indicator right there. But yeah, we'll get to Brad Jackson. One last shout out to Austin Patchmaster, austin.patchmaster.com. Any drywall repair you need, crack ceilings, popcorn ceiling removal, a hole punched after a Texas State loss, hit up my guys, 512-200-3888. It's 512-200-3888, austin.patchmaster.com. Thank you to Michael Clements. Thank you to Rick Galindo. Don't forget to check out WNOGB.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, tell your friends, create accounts for your friends if they don't have an account. When I went on my family trip last weekend, my little cousin made 3 accounts and subscribed. So whenever you look at it, what is it, like 112 subscribers? It's really 109. But we need more of them. Get in there and subscribe on all our platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whichever ones you listen to. Please get in there and subscribe. That really helps us grow. The comments, the ratings, all that good stuff helps us. And you've all been incredible at helping us. This is nothing without you sickos. And I thank you so much for keeping it going, even in the summertime, keeping the numbers up. I can remember me and Zach Webb talking, and he was like, I don't know what it's going to be like over summer. It's going to be fine. They'll be around. You give them content, they'll keep coming. These Texas State fans, they're hungry for those Bobcats. That's for sure. All right, let's get to Brad Jackson. Win now or get bent. All right, I am joined by Texas State's most recent commit, quarterback Brad Jackson. Brad, how's it feel to be a Bobcat?
Feels great. I'm excited.
You had a few other offers out there. A lot of them were some big Ivy League schools I was looking at, like Harvard, Columbia. What made you choose Texas State?
Yeah, so for a big one, one of my main goals is I wanted to play for an FBS school, and I wanted to play for a school that was known for football. And so for me is I fell in love with Texas State because the coaching staff, Coach Kenny, Coach Leftwich, the stuff they have going on, coming from an incarnate word and had the success on the FCS level. I mean, I kind of immediately fell in love with that coaching staff. That's kind of a big reason that really recruited me here, because they're great people, and they have a great plan, for Texas State. And I mean, I believe in it, and so that's why I kind of hopped in the boat and just said, yeah, let's do this thing.
It's relatively early. You have a whole senior year coming up to commit. Why did you decide to do it now?
Oh, for me is I really wanted, some security. I knew for Texas State, they had a couple offers out on a couple other 24 quarterbacks. And for me, I wanted, all pressure off. I wanted to be able to go into my senior year, just not focusing about, playing for, any college coaches. I just wanted to fully, commit to my, to my high school team. And, I went on an unofficial visit to Texas State last Thursday. And, after that, I kind of really just got a really good feeling and really thought, this is where I'm supposed to be. So I kind of just said, let's do it. Let's commit right now. And, my plan was, I wanted to commit, sometime in August. But I mean, for me, things change relatively quickly. And I just immediately thought like, hey, let's do this thing. I just decided, called up Coach Leftwich and said, hey, I want to commit. So.
Makes sense. You get kind of get it out of the way, get that whole process done before the season starts, and you can fully focus on it. Especially at a school that you're new at. You transferred to Reagan. You started out at Cy Creek your first 3 years. What went into transferring? Obviously, situations happen, family members move, but what brought you to Reagan?
Yeah, a lot of family stuff. My mom, has a ton of family up here in San Antonio. And yeah, so we basically just said, all right, yeah, we're gonna pack the bags and go. And then we saw Reagan, and it's a really really good school. They have a really really good reputation. They're not just for football, but for other reasons too. And so yeah, just really a lot of family up here, and we thought it would be a good move for all of us.
Yeah, coming from Cy Creek last year, I think you guys went 5-5. And then you look at Reagan, they 8-3 last year, 8-0 in district, made it to the playoffs, but lost in the first round. A little bit more success at that football program. Is that obviously that doesn't go into why you moved there, but is that something you look at and you're like, all right, I can't wait to be a Rattler?
Well, no, of course. I was aware of their, success in the past, and like you said, that wasn't the main reason for it. But yeah, no, definitely, it makes me excited, and I've been able to, work with, all the guys on the team for the past kind of month now, and these guys, they know how to work, and that's why they had such a good record last year. They have a really really defined culture, and the coaches do a great job enforcing that. And it's a really a great place to be. So it kind of worked out, for my family, and of course it worked out for me, to be able to, play at Reagan.
It's early days for you getting to know the surroundings over there and everything, but how different is it than Cy Creek? You just talked about how hard they work and how that pays off in the games, obviously, but what's been the main difference for you so far?
I mean, I wouldn't really, there's not a lot of, too many differences besides, they're wearing different jerseys, and obviously it's a completely different, location 3 hours away from Houston. But, yeah, I mean, for Reagan, obviously, I guess the main point would be, yeah, they've had, more football success, but, that is, I don't, discredit, my old school in any way. But, if I had to, list off differences, I'd probably, yeah, they've had a lot of years where they've had multiple years of success, and going on playoff runs. So I'd say that's probably the biggest difference.
Yeah. So there's been some good players out of Cy Creek too, as well. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
a couple of them have been here, so I definitely know that school. When I watch your film and I look at your game, I see how it fits into GJ Kinney's offense, where they're kind of a lot of choice driven offense. They want to go down the field, create a lot of space. When I watch your film, you're more than just sitting in the pocket throwing the ball. You can actually get away from these defenders a little bit and get loose with your feet. Was that something they were talking to you about, and how that's kind of how they want their offense to run, with a quarterback who can throw on the run or take off and run on their own? Was that part of the process when they were looking at you at Texas State?
Oh no, yeah, for sure. Because obviously, Coach Leftwich, who was the offensive coordinator, had that offense at Incarnate Word with Lindsey Scott Jr. And he was, I mean, shorter than me. I'm not a very tall person, but I mean, me and him kind of have the same type of game. Can make plays with our feet, and can make plays with our arm, obviously. But for Texas State and the offense they're bringing over, it a lot. It's very quarterback oriented and very quarterback friendly. It's If you don't got a good quarterback running the offense, you're not going to have a very good run offense. So for me, it was, Coach Leftwich, kind of recruited me, and, talking to me about the offense and what they do. It kind of applied to my game a lot. And, like you said, I, can make plays with my feet, but also if I need to stay in the pocket, I can stay in the pocket. So, for Texas State and the offense they kind of have going on, it really kind of fits right in my wheelhouse as far as, they use the quarterback in the run game, but obviously, they love to air it out, and that's just, perfect for me. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of quarterbacks in this quarterback room right now. Obviously, they bring in Malik Hornsby and TJ Finley from the transfer portal, and they're adding PJ Hatter as well. It's a nice crowded quarterback room. Is that something you look at? You're like, man, that's some good guys I can learn from and can also compete against. Was that something you liked when checking out Texas State?
Oh, of course. Yeah. And, like at any college, there's always going to be those, those older guys and there's going to be that competition. But, for me, I want to be able to go a place where I can, be able to feel comfortable in a quarterback room, be able to, learn from guys, like you said. And I know there's, a couple older guys who have come into the transfer portal. So they'll be, really good guys to learn from in my freshman year. But my goal is I would love to, when I get there, compete for a starting spot right away. I believe that I have the skill set in order to do that, and I'm graduating early this year, and I just want to be able to compete in the spring, and show kind of everybody what I'm all about and all that I can do, and I would just love to compete from day one.
Early graduate, huh? So you plan on enrolling in the spring?
Yes, sir.
Nice, nice. I knew you had good grades when I saw those Harvard, Columbia offers. I was like, this guy, he's got to have the grades already set. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you talked about visiting Texas State last Thursday, and you brought up Mac Leftwich and his offense. And I noticed in some of those pictures, it looked like he shaved his beard into a mustache for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
was that the thing that really sold it for you when you're like, oh, this is my kind of guy. He's got a mustache and everything just for me.
Yeah, I don't know about the number one reason, but yeah, no, yeah, it was funny because while I was at that visit, we FaceTime Coach Kenny, and he was like, "Well, when you commit here, I'm gonna get a mustache myself, so we'll
Oh,
all be the mustache trio." So I was like, "Hey, I mean, sure, go for it, whatever." But yeah, no, Coach Leftwich is really, kind of laid back guy, really really good person, and he pulled out the mustache for me on my visit, which I thought was really funny.
so Kenny promised one as well. I haven't seen a picture of his yet. I'm looking forward to
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah. He said, yeah, if you commit, I'm getting the stash. I was like, all right, I'm waiting for it.
Hey, maybe I'll have to join him. My cheeks could use some tanning. So,
There you go.
on your visit at Texas State, talk to us about what it was like. What did you guys go do? What did you check out? What did you like about it? Tell me about that visit on Thursday.
Yeah. So it was a visit. So we basically went around campus. Me and Coach Leftwich and one of the graduate, or yeah, the one of the assistant coaches went around campus, went around Texas State, basically touring the different buildings and seeing what was available. We went through multiple things where it was, like presentations of what goes on at Texas State, how the academics work, how the education is. And then me and Coach Leftwich, my mom, and a couple other people went out to lunch. Was able to was able to talk and get to know each other on a personal level. And then of course we came back. I had the photo shoot, and then we just sat down and kind of watched film and really got down to talking football, and he trying to recruit me and that aspect, and showing me the offense that he brought over from Incarnate Word and stuff they ran last year.
Do you have any other visits planned, or did you visit any other colleges during this summer?
Yeah, so over spring break, I visited Louisiana, and then I went up to Louisiana again for a camp, and was able to go on a little visit there. I was able to go on a visit to Oklahoma State last summer, but yeah, this summer it was mainly Louisiana and yeah, Texas State, and then I believe I went to U of H as well. So
Louisiana, two stops there, and you decided San Marcos a little bit better than Lafayette, both in the Sun Belt. But
right.
I kind of get that feeling.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess the day actually before I committed, Louisiana had a 24 quarterback commit. So that kind of closed that door, and it kind of gave me an answer like, hey, Texas State's probably the place to be. So I kind of saw that as a sign, and took the opportunity.
Right down the street from family too in San Antonio. I'm sure you still got people in Houston as well. It's not too far away. That played a factor in your decision.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Because I moved up to San Antonio, and San Marcos is now less than an hour drive back. So it definitely was a big factor. Kind of on any day I can drive back just less than an hour to come see some family. So definitely, I'd say definitely had a big factor in it.
You're the first commitment for the 2024 class for Texas State. Is not a very big class to start, but obviously they were pretty focused on 2023. How important is it, do you think, to get that first commitment as such as yourself to then now maybe some of these other guys will start jumping in the boat?
Well, yeah, for sure, and I think that's what Coach Kenny's plan kind of was, because he was, kind of telling me, he's like, "Hey, we want you to be the front runner for the class, and we want you to, after you commit, put the recruiting hat on and trying to, get other guys to commit." So, for me, I think, being the quarterback, especially how important the quarterback position is in today's game, is you got to have a quarterback in order to win ball games, and so I think for me being the first commitment in this Texas State recruiting class, it's able to kind of set the foundation. And so now for me, that now that I'm committed, I can just like I said, put my recruiting hat on and start to go get these guys and convince them why Texas State's the place to be.
Set the tone for the rest of the class, almost, if you will.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's a nice early commitment by yourself. To my last question for you, you have, like I said, your whole senior season coming up. What are some personal goals that you have coming up in this season? Something that if you look back on in December, be like, that was a successful year.
Well, yeah, I would love to make a playoff run. With Reagan, that would definitely be a big thing for me. And then some personal, I guess, accolades is I believe 2,500 yards away from 10,000 career passing yards, and then I'm 25 passing TDs away from 100 passing TDs. So those two personal accolades, if I could hit those this year, that would be a major accomplishment for me. But for me, my main goal is, as long as we're winning, I'm cool. If I'm dropping 100 yards a game, but we're still winning, it's perfectly fine with me. So definitely, I think making a playoff run and definitely kind of having a run that means something for sure is definitely probably the biggest thing for me going into my senior year.
25 and 25 season, 2,500 yards, 25 passing TDs. I think you can get there. I think you can get there.
I think I can too. Of course, yeah.
Well, hey, Brad, it was great talking with you. I'm sure I'm going to be getting to know you a lot more, but it's great to get in there early. Congratulations on committing to Texas State, and good luck to you this upcoming season.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me. It means a lot.